Hey there lovelies, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maddie, where I love to talk all things makeup, especially makeup tutorials. In this video, I am going to be doing a sunset inspired eyeshadow look. Every night that I look out my window, I see this beautiful sunset happening on the horizon where I live, and it just kind of inspired and also helped me remember that I used to do this sunset look, and so I wanted to bring it to you because it's such a beautiful look and I love sunsets. I think they're romantic, they're beautiful, they're very calming. That's what putting eyeshadow on does for me, is it's very calming and it's beautiful. So let's get into it. The first thing that I'm going to do is prime my eyelids with some concealer. We're going to cancel out those veins, we're going to cancel out redness, and lay a nice base for the eyeshadow to sit on. And also it creates a barrier that my skin oils don't come through and break up and crease that eyeshadow. Because that's just the worst, when you create an eyeshadow look that's like super beautiful and then it creases. I have had that happen and it is so annoying. Ooh, got some powder on my brow. I'm bringing that first underneath my eyebrow and then setting my mobile lid there because my mascara likes to crease. So I really want to make sure I get that set there. Also, this is going to make for, a really nice blend of the eyeshadows. And I'm going to be using the Colourpop Ornate palette. And I'm not sure if they still offer this one. I got this a few years ago. I know they used to, carry it for a while. But this is our sunset inspired eyeshadow palette. So I'm first gonna come in with the color mixture of Rival and that's what it's called, Shh. And I'm going to come in with this flat shader brush here because I'm going to start on my mobile lid and pack some color. This is a technique that I don't really do that often, but for this look I do. I am packing this as close to my lash line as possible. Also, I didn't do my base because I know that I'm going to get fallout from this. So whenever you're doing a dramatic eye look, I would recommend always starting with your eyes first and then doing your base after. So if you saw, I kind of brought my brush down this way so that I could get it as close to my lash line as possible. And for me being a hooded eye girly, you can kind of tell like, oh, she doesn't need any more eyeshadow than that, right? But because my hood, covers the rest of it, but when I blink, then that's where you can see I'm missing the eyeshadow. So I think I'm pretty good there. I'm gonna put just a little bit more. And then I'm kind of just patting lightly up. So I'm gonna do that to the other eye. This is hard because I'm right-handed. And coming on my other side here, I have to come all the way across my face. So I'm just dipping into those two shadows, tapping off the excess. I'm gonna switch my brush this way, there we go. And you can see already I've got a lot of fallout right there. And I tap off my brush, but I'm still gonna have fallout because I'm trying to pack it on. And that's why we don't do our base first. So now we've got that one. Next, I'm gonna come in with a small shader brush, small blending brush here. Really small because I do have small eyes and eyes are small, they're delicate, and you really don't need huge brushes. And then I'm gonna come in with this next color called Charisma. And it's I'm kind of doing this gradient. Okay, so I'm going from darkest to light because that's how the sunset is, right? And so this is kind of like a pinky corally color, and I'm going to blend this with that dark one and just make sure that my blend is really well so I don't have like a harsh line between my dark color and my lighter color. I also really like this look. I don't want to go too heavy here. I really like this look because it is actually kind of wearable. It's almost like I'm doing a smoky eye. So I'm kind of basically just bringing that like to my crease is all I'm doing. And I don't want to do too much because I want to make sure that there is a difference between my light and dark. So I may dip back into my dark colors to bring them back out because they've kind of gotten blended away. And that happens a little bit. Oh, that one I brought a little too far above my crease. You can always use your finger, wipe that away. Okay, I'm gonna dip back into my dark colors because they got a little blended away there. Just closest to my lash line. That's really where I want that depth. So you can kind of start to see this like gradient there. And then as I get close to that coral color, I'm just like lightly tapping to blend those together. There we go. Now we're getting that definition back. Then tap, tap, tap. You know, it's okay to come in with your brushes. This is one I use for the really light color. Come in as many times to tap and blend out as you need. It's okay to do that over and over again. There are no rules when it comes to makeup. Okay, now I'm gonna come in with a bigger, fluffier shading brush than that really small one. You can see the difference here. This one's slightly bigger than this one. And then I'm going to come in, this is where like the sunset really comes in. I mean, I don't know, is this sunset? Maybe more sunrise? Maybe it's more sunrise. Either way, this was inspired by a sunset. So I'm gonna come in with the color Siren. It's this yellow mustardy color, super pretty. And then I'm gonna blend in my crease and above my crease. Yeah, there we go. And it's better to tap or to go back into the palette as many times as you need to get, you know, just have a little bit on your brush and then go back in as many times as you need rather than trying to pack that color on there, because you are just going to overload your brush and overload your look and not be able to, you know, make this very delicate look here because you've overloaded the color too much and overwhelmed. So I find that blending that, my corally shade that I have kind of here in between, kind of disappeared a little. Trying to bring some more in. And what I also really love is that it really makes my blue eyes pop a lot. A very enhancing color. Pink is a really good enhancer for blue eyes. But there we have the basic look all done. Super simple. I mean, 3, maybe 4 colors if you're using these two together, but you know, you could use either one of those by themselves and then just this, you know, corally pinky shade and then that yellow. And super simple, dramatic, fun, smoky look. But you know, this is something that I would wear out to the grocery store. I have worn it out to the grocery store. I just love how even with my hooded eyes, you can still kind of see that like sunset look there. And then when I close my eyes, you can see even more the, you know, gradient that's going on. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my base and then we'll finish up this eye look. just kind of talking through really quickly the products that I used. I used my Shiseido Synchro Skin Radiant Lifting Foundation, and I used my Nars concealer, and then I pulled out an oldie, good one, I mean it's not that old, but I love it, is my Gucci bronzer. And the reason I pulled out this one is because it's got some red tint to it, and so, you know, it kind of really works very well with the pink and the red that I've got going on my eyes. And then also I used my Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in Lunch Money, because I wanted to bring in some of that gold to, you know, really get those vibes of sunset, sunrise. And I didn't put any blush on because I want the eyes to really shine. I feel like if I were to put blush right here, it would just maybe compete with my eyes just a little too much. If I wanted, I could bring in like maybe a little pink, just a slight little pink, maybe an orange blush. But this one, I really want my blue eyes to pop. I want my eyeshadow to really shine through. So now we're going to finish up this eye look. And I'm going to bring that dark color, those two dark colors that we were using, I'm going to bring them just in like this outer third of my eye here. And you can see that like this one is starting to kind of transfer from my lid to my lower lash line. It's just because I haven't put any mascara on to help it, you know, stay in place. And then I'm actually going to come in with that same mustard yellow color, and I'm gonna run that from that, you know, kind of meeting point where I ended the pink color, and I'm gonna bring it in, kind of pinching my brush there. Because if I bring that pink like too far under my eye, then it's really going to make me kind of look like I have pink eyes. So that's why I didn't grab the lighter colored one, like Corley, the Charisma color. Just really bring that in. And then I'm gonna come in with one of my favorite colors, and it's called Gilded. It's like super, super pretty. It's this pinky corally reflect, and just putting that, I mean, look at that. Like, oh, okay, look is done. Well done. You can walk away now. But we're not going to, because we need to put on some mascara. And this look I really like mascara with because it stands out so much. I mean, if you wanted to go extra and do something really fun and bold, you could wear burgundy mascara, or even brown would look good too. It might, you know, it would create a much softer effect than the harsh black, but I just love the black because it really, you know, stands out. I love dramatic eye looks. And I'm only putting the mascara on my bottom lashes in the outer third. Not bringing it all the way under my eye because I don't want to close off my eye too much by putting the mascara there. And we're just going to do swoop and curl. That way we get all of our eyelashes coated very, very well. And then outer third. There we go. Now, lips. They look kind of ghostly. Got my lips done. You know what's funny is that I used to not really believe in lip products, and so I would walk around without, basically like this, like, oh, my eyeshadow is like popping, it's great, it's perfect, but then I would leave my lips bare, and it just really, I don't like those old photos. I'm washed out so much. You know, I just realized, I'm gonna take that same color, Gilded, and I wanna put just a little highlight on my brow. Just a little bit. Kind of like bring those pinks together and also draw more attention to the center of my eyes, and center and inward, right? That's what's gonna get me the very wide open look. So, okay, lips here. I'm also gonna keep this more neutral. So I'm kind of with a brown lip liner. Kind of like grounding this look and really bringing attention to the eyes. Because if my lips are boring, then, well, they're not boring, they're pretty, but then it brings more attention to where I want it, which are my eyes. You know, you're not going to be paying attention to, you know, down here. It's going to be like, boom, you know, oh, there's her eyes. So I just put a kind of like apricot nude color on, and now I'm going to come in with a NYX Butter Gloss and round this all out. You know, I really love these butter glosses. They smell super, super good. I'm not actually liking that apricot color, so we're gonna redo this. And sometimes that's how it goes. You put on a lip and you're like, not my favorite. I'm still gonna come back in with that brown because I was really liking the vibes it was giving. Kind of like my lips are the earth and then like my eyes are the sky. Okay, we're gonna do some shading. That lip liner. All right, now we'll come in with just the gloss. Yeah, I like that a lot better. And you know what? I think I need, sometimes this happens too when you put on makeup, you've got the full face, you're like, you know what? I think I need a little bit more. Because now that you've got it all together, need a little bit more down here. And you know, kind of a little trick that I learned is that if you bring some of your bronzer up here, it kind of like rounds your chin a little bit. I think it's a really pretty look. There we go. And there you have it, this sunset, sunrise inspired look. I hope you really enjoyed this makeup tutorial. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and especially subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified of all of my future uploads so I can keep creating awesome content like this for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!